Hello, my creative friends. I wanted to come on today and show you this video that I made creating this really cute thank you card. And we will be using the Rainbow of Happiness stamp set that is in the January to June mini catalog. We're also going to be using the Brilliant Rainbow dies that coordinate with the stamp set, and we're going to use the Sunshine and Rainbows paper that is part of Celebration that is going on right now. And actually, there's only about 10 days left in Celebration, so if you want this paper, it is so gorgeous. If you want this paper, make a $50 purchase before February 28th. And you can get this paper for free. Here's the back side. Oh my goodness, I love it. I actually did another project and used this paper and also using the Driving By stamp set that is part of Celebration. If you look back in the videos, you can find that and just see all the uses for this really gorgeous paper. Okay, once again, we're making a card like this. So let's start with our piece of basic white cardstock. I'll put all of the measurements and more information in the comments so you can find it there. But I always like to stamp first, so if I make a boo-boo, I can fix it. I don't want to get everything put together and then have a problem and then have to tear everything apart. So today I'm going to be using, let's see, what color is this? Misty Moonlight. I'm using Misty Moonlight ink. And I'm just going to stamp these cute little hearts. This is one of my favorite stamps in the whole stamp set, and I can't tell you how many times I've used it. So I'll be using a lot more, I think. I'm just going to put that right here. Hold it for a minute. Cute. And then I'm going to stamp the sentiment thank you down in the corner. Okay, let's do it right about here. Okay, that looks great. So I always consider that the hard part. Just making sure that I get my stamps on there the way that I want them. So now is really all the fun part of putting everything together. So I have chosen these colors for my rainbow. It's Magenta Madness, Misty Moonlight, and if I could get this one, it's stuck. Here we go. There, Mango Melody and Granny Apple Green. So how are we going to do this? I'm going to set that aside for just a moment. And what I am going to do, this is a little trick, because these are small pieces, and we want to put them on that white. We want to glue them down, but to try to wrangle them one at a time and get them positioned correctly and not have things crooked or going every which way and not getting a bunch of glue on my hands, right? Yes, so we want to try to avoid that. So I've just positioned it here on my my grid paper, and I can use my grid paper to kind of line it up there. And then I'm going to take this piece of tape. It's Post-it note tape. So I hadn't heard of this until very recently, but it comes in handy with your stamping. So first what I did is I tore it off the roll. It comes in a roll just like Scotch tape. And then I took it and I kind of pressed it against my clothing and then took it off because I want to take a little bit of the sticky off of it. I don't want it to be too sticky because I don't want it to damage my paper. So I'm just going to press it on here like this and then turn it over. See how that keeps all of the pieces in place? And I'm going to take my multi-purpose liquid glue and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on each one of these rainbow stripes. And I don't know about you, but if I had to pick each one of these up separately and do this, I think it would make a mess. So this, this is a great trick to remember when you're dealing with small pieces that you want to go together in a certain formation. All right, here's my piece of white cardstock. So I can put this on, and I think I'm going to put it, let's see, right about here. So I'm just going to lower that down on there. I'm going to press my little pieces, and then I'm just going to very carefully pull this tape off, and I'm just going to kind of hold down to make sure I don't lift up my rainbow stripes. And there it is. Isn't that great? I just think that's such an awesome trick. It makes everything look very neat and tidy. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use this punch. I don't know if you can see it there. There's kind of a glare, but it's a cloud. So we're going to use that to punch out our cloud for this project. So I'm just going to slip some white cardstock in here. And then, there we go. I kind of feel like I'm doing a magic show right now. That is super fun. So that is going to go right there. All right, so again, I'm going to move this out of the way for just a minute. And I'm going to bring in some of the other pieces of our card. So we were dealing with a white card base today. And let me pull out my bone folder. I like to use this bone folder because it gives me a very crisp fold on my card. There we go. And this is going to be a base that we put on, the first layer that we put on our white cardstock. So I am going to start by adhering this piece of that beautiful paper onto this layer. Oh, and look at that side. Isn't that pretty? That's the thing about the Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper. Beautiful, beautiful on both sides. It's so hard to decide sometimes what side's going to be covered up and what side is going to be exposed. One of the great things about this paper is you've got a lot of choices when it comes to coordinating colors. And they're just all so bright and happy. I love that. All right, let's go ahead and adhere this. And when I'm using my liquid glue, I usually like to start in the center of my cardstock, just in case when I make that first squeeze, we get a blob or something. I don't want that to be on the edge, because I don't want to make a mess. And I don't want a big blob of glue coming out on my project, or on my hands for that matter. Okay, so I'm going to kind of press that down. Then I'm actually going to turn it over. I like to turn my projects over when I'm going to press. That way I know that if I had some glue or some ink or something like that on my hands, I don't get it on my project. Beautiful. All right, making progress here. Now we're going to glue this down here. I've got a little dust or something on here. Hold on, let me grab something to get that off. I'm using my take your pick tool here, and I'm just gonna, there we go, brush that little piece of whatever it was, something lint or something off of there. All right, again, starting in the middle, and I'm kind of really using the glue just to draw on here. We don't want big blobs. It makes our cards buckle, and it takes a very long time to dry. So we try to avoid getting big blobs. Okay. I am in love with this so far. Again, just pressing down. And now this is just going to get glued on here. Lots of layers in this card, but it's not complicated. It's actually quite easy. And those beautiful dies do all the work with making your rainbow stripes. There we go. And press it down. And now the only thing left to do is to add our cloud. And I like to use dimensionals for some of my pieces and parts on my cards because the dimensionals give the card dimension. I guess that's why they're called dimensionals. So that's going to lift the cloud up a little bit off the face of the card. And these are so easy to use. They're self-adhesive. And let's put a few of those on here. I like to put a few just to make sure that we're not going to have it smushed down, especially if we have to mail it, so it won't crush it. Gets a little support in there. All right, let's see. I'm going to put that, I think, right here. So beautiful, and I do like it with the rainbow striped paper as well. So pretty. Okay, now let's go back and look again at the one that I showed you in the beginning. Gorgeous, aren't they? Let me show you one more. This one we actually made earlier this week at our in-person workshops for February. The same kind of layout. This one is a little bit different. We used a different stamp here. It's still from the Rainbow of Happiness set. You Make Me Happy. And we used the dies that coordinate with this to cut out these clouds. So we have little clouds there. This one is popped up with dimensionals. And on these, I chose to use the cloud punch. So there you have it. Super cute rainbow cards. All right, I'll be back in a few days with another video, and I hope you'll join me then. Please, if you're following me on YouTube, be sure and subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you'll be notified when there's a new video. And if you're following me on Facebook, same, set your notifications so you know when I go live or when I post a new video. And I will see you soon. Bye-bye.